and what is it that made you join Experio Financial Group? And Janice, let us know where you're joining us from in this call in Zoom.
I'm calling you from Bradenton, Florida. It's a beautiful 87, 88 degree sunny day. But I spent most of my life in Boston. Went to graduate school with Kirsten, so that's where our connection is. But like Ginny, I started my career at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. So I was dealing with many companies and brokers, but only with, health products, basically, a few dental products. And eventually I wanted to branch out and be able to work with more companies. So I went over to the broker side, but I was doing group insurance. So I've done group insurance, at a lot of the big broker consultants like Marsh McLennan, Mercer, Aon, Wells Fargo, and a few more. But mostly do the same kind of thing as an account executive, excuse me, doing service and renewals and some sales support. Sorry, I have a cold. And I left my last employer in January, decided that I no longer wanted to do the big corporate thing, and wanted to try to develop some business on my own. When Kirsten happened to call me one day out of the blue, and while I was sitting around trying to think of what am I going to do next, because I was not ready to retire yet. And it sounded like, she did a good sales pitch, and it sounded so interesting that I said, okay, tell me more. So, little by little, it took us, I think, about 2 weeks to get for me to get to a decision. I am sometimes guilty of over preparing and over researching. So, I wanted to get all my ducks in a row first before I made the decision, but I just couldn't resist. It seems like such a good opportunity. And Hernan, you were among the first people I met, you and Annie, so supportive. There were so many resources. It's really at the beginning overwhelming. There's so much to learn and so much to do, but the opportunity is the most, I think, important. There's several directions you can go in, either singularly or at the same time, and I think it's just an awesome opportunity. So I'm listening with avidly to everyone that's speaking here and what their backgrounds are and how they are succeeding here, so I can do the same.
Thank you so much, Janice. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to have all of you here. But when we bring someone, or when you join Experio with so much experience, we really appreciate it a lot, because all of you are mentors to all of us. So thank you for sharing that. I like to ask Jane Hanford as well to introduce herself, let us know where you are calling us from, and if you were before in the industry, who you were with. There is nothing wrong about saying the names of the companies we were with. We all appreciate where we came from. I do believe this is the evolution of the broker system, the IMOs and the MGAs. That's why we call it the IMO and the MGA of the future. So go ahead, Jane, let us know why you joined as well.
Oh, thanks, Hernan. So I'm one of these newbies to the industry. I'm just starting my 3rd year, so I'm still in survival mode, but I have so many resources here. So I started out in the industry as a captive agent with a company called AIL, and I'm forever grateful for the great training that I received there, but not a good fit. It was like, you have to buy this today. And that's just not me. I'm an educator. I was actually 15 years an educator in the beauty industry. So I come from an education point. So I really like the idea of bringing the financial literacy of the world up. That's one of my missions. But here with Experio, oh my gosh, I specifically joined the icebreakers because of you and Annie. Because like Ginny says, you're never like hovering over me saying, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You just give me room to fly. And what I'm good at, you let me do it. I
That's
just
right.
love it. And the transparency of this company and the whole basis of, the integrity of this company is so unusual in the industry. And I encourage everybody to have a look at Experio.
Thank you so much, Jane. That's awesome. And we are all very proud of you. And yes, you are, quite new to the industry, but you're taking all the right steps. And we are here to support you and all of you. And now that lets me ask Jacqueline Van Horn, a champion, and I see how you been growing your team also. Uh, you can let them know where you are and where you have a few team members and where you came from, Jacqueline. Thank you.
Well, I'm here in sunny Pitt Meadows, which is about an hour east of Vancouver. I'm pretty new to the industry. I've only been an agent for a year and a half. And I worked with Jane in our practice company, American Income Life. It didn't work well for me. So when Jane had the opportunity to join Annie, she brought me with her. And I am forever thankful that I'm a part of Annie and Hernan's team. And I have teammates in Ontario and one in Virginia, and Iragama, who's on the call with us today. She's in Washington. And I just met with a young lady from Surrey yesterday, and it looks like she might be joining us. So, things are coming along.